Hello, everybody, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43, and tonight we have our first look at the October 2020 patch notes. So, you know these videos tend to be a little bit long, so make sure you go get you a snack, get you some water, come back, we'll wait, and let's get this party started. So, the maintenance times are going to be Xbox 2 to 5, PS4 2 to 5 Central. So, roughly, 1 to 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Update size will be 2.5 gigabytes for both, so those of us with crappy connections, plan ahead. Welcome to October Legends. We have prepared yet another shipload of content to warm your fall moods. You can expect a new campaign to earn Benham, a United States Navy Tier 6 premium destroyer, the Italian cruisers to arrive in force, with the much anticipated exhaust smoke generator upgrade and ready to be researched. And finally, the Soviet destroyers to receive some eagerly awaited buffs. A fresh tactical feature, the sector alert function, will make battle communications a tad clearer. And there's something special in store for Halloween as well. Okay, so I'm intrigued. I guess it's a good thing I haven't played the Russian destroyers yet, so they're getting some buffs. So maybe we'll have to check them out in the near future. I am excited for the Benham. If you guys aren't sure about what the Benham is, okay, imagine a Fletcher with 16 torpedoes. Now, on PC, the Benham has the Fletcher's upgraded torps that we don't get on console. Now, this is just speculation, but I'm hoping that those torpedoes come to console with us, because then it'll make an American destroyer more than just a gunboat. Now, the way they have 16 torpedoes is 8 on the right side, 8 on the left side, 2 quad launchers off either side of the ship. So it's not like they're just going to be able to dump 16 torpedoes off one side of the ship. You gotta launch 8 and then turn all the way around and then launch the other 8. But it does make for some interesting situations. So I will be interested in it. And on top of that, it's also an American gunboat. So you still have the ability to DACA with the best of them. So I'll be interested to see how that works out. Steel Redeemer campaign. You've been asking for another destroyer campaign, and that's exactly what we're delivering. USS Benham, the lead ship of her class, made herself particularly essential in the Battle of Midway, during which she rescued hundreds of personnel from aircraft carrier Yorktown and destroyer Haman. In the game, she's not a typical United States Navy destroyer, as she sports 8 torpedo tubes per side, a feature that can unleash quite a nasty surprise for any ships that dare to come within range. Benham awaits you behind the 80th milestone of the campaign. So it's going to be a shorter campaign, which also offers an array of desirable rewards on your path to the top. In addition to the usual selection of goodies, you'll also find Halloween 2020 crates. These hold some interesting items, ranging from rust bucket disposable camos. Oh boy. The Transformer Autobots camos coming back. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, to give your ships that battle and time-worn look, to unique Halloween commanders, all specializing in destroyers. Yay! One for the U.S., one for the U.S., one for Germany, and one for the Soviets. Moreover, grade 4 Halloween skins for Benham. Okay. Z-23 and Ognavoy. Wait. Ognavoy's not in the game yet, right? So I guess that's coming. I could be wrong. I haven't played the line yet, but I don't think Ognavoy is actually in the game right now, which means, surprise, new ship on the way. Again. Found in Halloween 20 crates. Additionally, each container will drop 250 tabs, a special currency that can later be spent on upgrading the Halloween ships and acquiring special store items, including Soviet Tier 6 premium destroyer Ognavoy. Ha! There you go. I'm not crazy. I do know things once in a while. One important note about the Halloween 20 crates, the skins you can find inside do re-roll. while the commanders do not. This means that it is possible for you to get duplicate Halloween commanders before you collect them all. Okay, interesting. An important thing to note about this campaign is that we're going back to resetting the weekly Havoc, as the name suggests, on a weekly basis. In addition, a hard mode mission chain is available from day one. This time, however, you'll be able to use your legendary ships to complete the hard mode tasks, but the requirement might change accordingly. If you wish to use lower tier ships for these tasks, feel free to do so, as you only need to complete one card of each stage. Please keep in mind that there is one task that requires you to hit the enemy with torpedoes 10 times in a single battle, and this particular task can only be completed with non-legendary ships for obvious reasons. Well, first of all, there's no legendary ships that have torpedoes, so I'm going to assume that that's the obvious reason. Do we have potential new legendaries on the horizon? Maybe something with torpedoes? It's, again, speculation, but it's weird wording. I mean, there's literally no legendaries that have torpedoes. You got the Yamato, you got the Grosser first, and you got the Alaska. Nobody has torpedoes. So why they would say this, but I'm going to say for obvious reasons, hence to that. But maybe I'm looking into it too much. Maybe there's not going to be a torpedo legendary anytime soon, but it is odd that they would say that. Now, obviously, you've got your October 5th through November 9th, 5 weeks of missions, 80 levels of progression, and of course, on level 80, you get the Venom as your thing. So without Admiralty backing, you get 14,362 doubloons worth of goodies. With Admiralty backing, you get 50,052 doubloons worth of goodies. Lots of camos, some global XP in there, some commander XP in there, 1.3 million credits, promotion orders, that's a big thing for me right now. Insignias are always good, and promotion orders are my biggest. 20 of them is nice. Commendations, big crates, Halloween crates, and then the Venom. So, there isn't a whole lot up for grabs, but there's a lot of what is up for grabs in this campaign. So, interesting. The Italian cruisers, these exquisite machines arrived just a month ago, only to receive a major update already. We're talking, of course, about the exhaust smoke generator consumable, which allows these ships to obscure their silhouettes even while moving at full speed. However, the consumable's duration is anything but long. Each of the Italian cruisers, starting with Montecuccoli, that's the best I got, have 2 exhaust smoke generator charges by default. And of course, I'm sure you can use the fully packed to get you a third. The newcomer of this line is the beautiful Amalfi. She's quite fast, armed with accurate 203mm guns and 3 triple gun turrets, and sports the same torpedoes as her predecessor Zara. The torpedoes might be slow, but they are sufficiently hard-hitting and far-reaching, and especially effective when launched from within smoke screens deployed on the fly. Their launching angles are also pretty terrific. While the torpedoes aren't easy to detect, Other than that, she has one of the biggest HP pools in her class. But that exterior plating won't stop much, so weigh your options carefully before brawling. We'll have to talk more about the rolling smokescreen, as most people call it, as the update comes out and we get to talk about it a little bit more. I will definitely be getting the ship right off the bat because I've obviously had the other cruisers, so I can get the Amalfi pretty quick. But we also got to be talking about the Soviet destroyers improvements. Ever since their release, the Soviet destroyers have been deemed a line with unrealized potential. While we didn't see a dramatic drop-off in their performance per se, the higher-tier ships, especially the Tashkent, required supreme precision from their captains to be worth it. To offset this, and provide the ships some breathing room, we're introducing several measures to bring the line on par with the competition. The buffs include a better gun range, quicker shifting rudder, improved incapacitation resistance for the steering gears and engine modules, faster torpedoes, and damage control party with a longer duration. First of all, Like, I get that not a lot of people have been playing these, but you're literally buffing everything about the ship. Everything receives a buff at that point. The only thing that didn't get buffed is the health pool, which I believe it already has on the higher end of. All this should lead to an increase in ships' damage per minute output, as well as their ability to stay afloat for longer. While the quicker torpedoes are designed to help in escape scenarios, the full list of changes is as follows. Okay, we're not going to go over all of these, obviously, but we may go ahead and look at the Tashkent in particular. Gun range improved from 9.9 to 10.9, so a little bit of a buff there, 1 kilometer. That puts it right there with the Fletcher, I believe. Rudder shift time decreases from 8.5 to 7.6 for Hull A, and from 6.1 to 5.4 for Hull B. That's still pretty slow for a destroyer. Like, 5.5 second rudder shift is pretty slow. So it's I haven't played the ship, so this is just me talking about it from the outside. Decreased chances for steering gears and engine modules to be critically hit. Okay, so that's a quality of life thing for somebody who puts themselves in a bad position. Default torpedo speed increased from 65 to 70 knots. That's a big upgrade right there. And if you use the torpedo perks to increase that even further, that's talking about getting up there with the Yadachi speed. Let's see. Default torpedo speed, upgraded torpedoes from 55 to 60 knots. Okay, so apparently the default torpedoes for the Tashkent are faster, and then when you upgrade them, they get slower. But usually the slower, the harder they are to detect, usually. Damage control party duration increased from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. So a little bit of a nice buff there too, doubling it. Even though it's not that big a deal. Rust and Rumble. Okay. This Halloween, we're back with another special event. This time, it's a post-apocalyptic destroyer team deathmatch. That sounds like fun. Expect 4 teams of 3 specially prepared destroyers to slug it out in a sunken and decrepit cityscape. Sounds fun. Here's the catch. There's no hiding, meaning that everyone can see everyone else. These ships themselves have different strengths, but none of them have smokes. So it's going to be a good old-fashioned shootout. You'll also receive a choice of 3 fully ranked up event commanders to man your vessels. The event itself will begin on October 19th, and we'll share an additional article with more details on October 15th. Alright, so first impressions. I like the idea, but this seems like a sneaky way to test a new feature that I'm not 100% sure is going to be good for everybody. If you guys aren't aware, World of Tanks console recently just did a test weekend where they had the, I think they called it True Vision. Basically, everybody spotted all the time instead of the getting undetected and stuff. And obviously, you can utilize certain features of the maps or whatever to keep yourself from being detected or whatever, or in our case, smokes usually. But that seems like what they're doing. They're just kind of testing it out, see how people play, and given the fact that they're destroyers and everybody's going to be spotted the entire time, it's going to be utter chaos. You're going to be having people running around at full speed, gunboats and torpedoes everywhere. So it'll be interesting. It's definitely going to be an interesting game mode. I'm definitely going to be testing that out. Balance changes. The Aladad skill that's available to Henry Hyde has been slightly buffed. The guaranteed ricochet angles have been halved from 1 to 4 degrees to 0.5 to 2 degrees, depending on the rank. Has been slightly buffed. The guaranteed ricochet angles have been halved from 1 to 4 degrees to 0.5 to 2 degrees, depending on the rank. Have I been reading that skill wrong all this time? Like, I thought it gave you better ricochet angles so that your shells are more likely to penetrate. Because that's one of the problems with the German battleships with their AP is that they have really bad penetration angles. So you get a lot of shatters and bounces off the sides of ships. Anyway, the British destroyers Icarus, Jervis, and Lightning will lose the access to propulsion mod. Huh. They are currently extremely effective in most scenarios, save for some encounters with the French fleet, so we didn't want to change much. If you have said modifications, they will be removed from the aforementioned ships and moved to the inventory. Huh. That's interesting. So, the British ships, if you guys didn't know, British ships don't have engine boost consumables because that's kind of already built in. Like, they're always faster accelerating than any of the other destroyers. But their top speed is limited usually, and being able to stack the propulsion mod meant that you had some pretty ridiculous speed from start to stop and stop to start. So you would use your destroyer, or you'd use your smoke screen, and then you could turn and get out of there quickly, disengaging, unless of course you had something like a Fletcher or something chasing you down that just had higher top end speed. But yeah, that'll be an interesting change. I personally don't think I used the propulsion mod because it tends to make your ship do a bunch of drifting. Instead of allowing your ship to cut in and turn, your ship would just push straight through. Like, your ship would start to turn and it would just keep going straight. It's weird. So it's interesting. It was basically a power slide in a ship, which is weird. So I don't think that's going to affect me much, but if you use propulsion mod, obviously you're going to know it. Miscellaneous improvements and changes. You can now highlight a map sector by selecting it on the tactical map. This is both a good thing and a bad thing. Good for when you want to ping a sector of the map that your teammates may be able to like not be paying attention to. Of course, if you ping it, like, there's no guarantee that they'll actually pay attention to that either. But being able to ping a sector is also going to be another way for the freaking trolls out there to just absolutely drive you crazy, because they'll just sit there and ping the same sectors over and over again, or ping the entire map multiple times. It's obnoxious, just from my experience personally. The radar visual effects have been enabled for all ships that have the consumable. This only works for PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X at full HD settings. So Xbox is finally getting the thing that PlayStation has had for a little while. Because I'll be honest, I've wondered why that wasn't on Xbox. Because I've seen it in other people's, not going to mention any names, but other people's PlayStation videos that they post. And I'm like, well, where is it on Xbox? I can't find it. And I guess it wasn't available on Xbox yet. So that's a thing. So we'll be looking forward to that, because I kind of like that. Camouflage can now cover smaller details of ships. Huh? Okay, so they just did a update on the masks, I guess. Redeem the code right here at worldofwarshipslegends.com/code-redeemer to receive 12 Regia Marina camos and 1 day of premium. The personal commendation counter has been removed from the inspiration selection screen, as it has no use there. The available ships in the big crate have been rotated. You can now find a Graf Spee, the Dunkirk, or a Kid. Nice. I just bought the Kid not too long ago, and now it's available in a crate. Thanks. Now here's some fixed bugs. I'm not going to read into all of that. I'll let you guys do that. As always, I'll put the link to these patch notes in the video description below, so that you guys can click and come and read them if you want. New premium ships. The British Tier 6 Cruiser Cheshire. Cheshire? We'll just call it the Cheshire. Available for doubloons. The American Tier 5 Battleship West Virginia. Available for doubloons. All right. I'll be looking forward to that one. Soviet Tier 6 Destroyer Ognavoy. Available for tabs under the Rust and Rumble store tab once the special event is live. And that's it. So, I don't think this was too long this time, so if you guys have anything you'd like to say, make sure you put it down in the comments below for me. If you're looking forward to certain things or not, as always, like I said, I'll put the link to this in the description below so that you guys can click on it and come read it for yourself. Because there's some sectors I just kind of skip over because there's a lot of reading that's not really pertinent. So anyway, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to your channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.